Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing tonight? We are back with the KBBU, Michelle Green and team for the behind the scenes tonight. Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? Listen,
Great,
just wanted
great.
to come in and share with you guys. We just finished another night of the KBBU undergraduate class, and boy, did we have an interesting night. I thought the night was going to go one way, and then we took a whole shift into what God wanted to talk about because we did a family tree last week, and this was in relation to our businesses and the people that we hire, right? And so there must have been a lot of I don't know, things that were stirred up in our hearts that needed to be clarified. What y'all guys think? What you think, Martino? What you think about that?
I definitely think it's like I say when we definitely connect on family tree and when we reflect on ourselves, as we always talk about, business starts with ourselves. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson said, "The man in the mirror." So I think it's always an emotional touching point because nobody like to check themselves. You know what I mean? What they say, we like to point out a thorn in another person now while we got a whole log in ours. Like, so it's easy to point a finger. You know what I'm saying? Instead of take accountability. Accountability is a whole nother level. But when it comes to a business, like, you know what I'm saying, it's all about the accountability because it all starts with you. You are your foundation. So I think it's always a touchy, but always a great opportunity.
Yes, yes, yes. That's a good point. We really don't want to look at our own life and we want to make all of these excuses as to why our businesses don't really work. But in actuality, our business are mirror images of ourselves, like I said tonight. And we really have to analyze what are our problems? What are the things internally that we are dealing with that we're not being real about? That pertains to our life and why we get stuck so easily. What about that, Carnell? What did you take away from tonight's class?
I feel that just piggybacking off of Martino, I think that we don't want to check our friends, friends in the business with us, and it took me down a long path, a dirty path that I had to talk about tonight. I had to clean it up though, because if I hadn't cleaned it up, man, I don't know where I'd be right now.
That's
But thanks to a certain instructor, she really helped me out.
right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Tina, thank you, Miss Cornell. That is so true. We got all these different scenarios when we are entrepreneurs and different kinds of relationships that we have with all sorts of people. But, we don't really think about like, okay, well, how can I make things equally right with every person that I'm in relationship, whether it's a family member or a friend? Tina, as a business owner, how has that really impacted your business, like relationship between family and versus the people that you work with in business?
Learning to put people in the proper position where they belong. And you have to learn to separate the emotions away from business, because the problem that I had to learn the hard way is that you can have people who you really love a lot, and they're your friends, but they're more like a family member, because you cross that level where this person, now you call them like they're your family. And then you have family who is really your blood family that you decide, I'm gonna bring them into the business, and then things just go awry, right? And I had to go through a lot with that, and had to learn that I had to learn to separate it. You can't blur the lines, and business is business, and family is family. And in order to keep that managed properly, you have to keep people where they belong. Okay, because when we start moving them like a chessboard into the wrong position and then it don't work out, well, guess what? We decided to do that. So we get mad at them, but we made the executive decision to put them there where they did not belong. And that can ruin relationships.
Yes.
Sometimes you can bounce back, but sometimes you can't. So I had to learn the hard way. So these relationships, understanding why. And you can't leave your family relationship if you're having issues, you need to fix them, because it's no separation between that and your business. You will bring that same mentality into your business by default. And it's just a proven thing. You might think you can separate it, but that ain't how I go. And so that's why I have to learn.
Yes, thank you to Jarvis. Hey out there, thank you for watching, watchers. I appreciate you being here. Listen, that was amazing, Tina. Yes, it is so important, and we have this mindset that, you know, our emotions, you know, some of us, we feel like we can just have any kind of emotion with our staff. We can have any kind of emotion with our friends, and especially if we bring a family member into our organization, then we really think that we can run some things. But being a business owner is not really about us being in control of people. It's learning how to control our own selves. What do you think about that, Martino? I know you look like you wanted to say something on that.
I feel like as you learn in a new business, you understand why corporations have HR. HR is like emotional control. It's like feeling control. Like they really, like, if you think about it, like your HR manager, they seem biased. They don't take those sides, but they all about, tell me how you really feel. All at the end of the day, they try to pull out, they overlook the emotional feelings, even if it's like, because you got some feelings, emotional, be sexual harassment, might be a little too flirtation, you know what I'm saying, anger, you know what I'm saying, you got to control your anger and all that. So that's what an HR is. So when you start your own company, you don't have the HR. You have to be the PR, the HR, all of that yourself. Like, because I promise you, sometimes, it been so many times I done typed the text I had to delete before I sent it, but they done customer done says type something back real slick, and I'm like, boop, 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 and the father be like looking at me like, I know. Let me delete it. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I just pray they get diarrhea or something. I was playing. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to just let him handle the battles. Like, you know what I mean? It's not even always about jumping out there and trying to attack yourself. So you got to be able to control your feelings on that part, because at the end of the day, like I say, we fight against flesh and blood, not spirits and principles, but not against spirits and principality. So a lot of times it's just the spirit is in that person. It's not actually that person.
Yes, that's so rich. That's so good. I love it. I love it. Come on, Cornell. What you got to say? You look, I see you got your hand over your mouth right there. And you like, I gotta hold it, but I'm gonna say it.
Well, you can't show your emotions, you know, especially if they're going this way and that way around your employees or around the people that you work with. That famous saying, never let them see you sweat. You can't. You already got to show positive vibes around, even if your day is going pretty rough. It's like, I had an old boss, and I think one of my army buddies told me, he said, hey, whatever you got going on out there, you can't bring around these soldiers. If you got bad things going on out here, you can't bring that attitude here.
That's right.
You gotta, you know, wax on, wax off, you know, and smile. And when you walk through that door, put that smile on the face, because they feed off those emotions, those special bad vibes you're going through. And then if they start having a bad day, you can't get on them. Yeah, sometimes you got to look in the mirror. You got to do some straightening. You know, it is what it is.
Yes, yes, indeed. Come on, Tina. I see you smiling over there. You got something to talk about.
No, everybody is hitting the nail on the head, because you have the things that you're going to go through as an entrepreneur. And when you have people on your staff or your team, there's always something going on in the background. And like Carnell said, you have to learn to leave those. If you have to like lead up a meeting, you have to let all of that stuff stay right there in that corner, and you bring in the positivity, because leadership, when you are the head, or you, well, God is the head, but I'm talking about He allowing us to be able to manage these kingdoms. Right. But the emotions that we're feeling, it goes down to the management. So if we're out here acting up and hot tempered and I'm going to tell them all, being a fire starter, meaning if you don't know what the term fire starter means, that someone who states stuff to trigger an emotional reaction that is 9 times out of 10 negative. If you're doing that with your business, then your business is a reflection, get this, of you. So if people are always coming at you, well, you need to do some inside work, okay? It's time to do some inside work. Why is it more negative than positive? Because 9 times out of 10, it's something that you're putting out. It's something that you're putting out, right? And so that's hard to even accept sometimes. It could be me, more, like real. And so really, like everyone said, your business is an inner reflection of you. Your HR, until you have it, is you, like Martino said. And there are times when I had to type a text message or an email, and I felt some type of way because I was like, they wrong. Okay, this ain't, excuse you. And I literally had to not send it, delete the message. Because think about what's going to happen after it's sent. Because they just need a reaction. People screenshot, do all kinds of stuff to kind of bring down. So you have to think about the end result. It's not always trying to prove that you're right. It's doing the right thing. And sometimes doing the right thing don't feel that good. Let's just keep it real. Sometimes doing the right thing don't feel that good because you feel like you justified to say X, Y, Z. But guess what? You need to keep your mouth shut. You need to keep your mouth shut. You need to keep them fingers off the phone. You need to stop pressing send on them emails. Sometimes you need to yield.
That's it.
Sometimes you need to yield. And sometimes, and that's hard to do. I had to do that this week. I had to yield. I'm like, because you got to think about the people who are up under you. You're paying them. You got to think about the people that you're helping, the legacy that you're building. And you can do 100 amazing things. 100 amazing things with your business, and you react the wrong way one time, and people hold on to that one time you lost your cool and forget about all that other stuff you did. Forget about all of that and that one incident.
That's right.
It only takes one. And so you got to think about, okay, is it really necessary? And that's pride. So you need to, like my dad say, you gotta put that pride in your back pocket.
Facts. Like, can I pick it back real quick off of them too?
Come on with it.
Right. So like one thing, like I like what they both were saying was like how we gotta leave things at the door, and one thing I always try to model is I don't even try to bring work home, and I don't try to bring home work. And like, you know what I'm saying, because we got to go both ways. A lot of times we go. So I leave all the spirits outside. Old custom tradition back in the old days in the Bible, that when you go into an Israelite home, they had a pot of water at the door, and you take your shoes off and you wash your feet. So the traveler was traveling through the road. Think about all that dirt, that dust, everything they done walked through, mud and everything, manure, poop, whatever they done stepped in, they wash it all off and then leave it at the door. So think about it spiritually. How much things do we step in spiritually, unclean spirits and unclean things, aggravation, anger, frustration, hate, lust, whatever we don't come into pass while going in between 4 and 4, we carry those on our feet. So we should take our shoes off and wash them brand new. We come in as clean wherever we go, into our home and to our work, leave the world in the world, and to be focused in the spiritual.
That's it. You said it all. That's what I'm talking about right there. So these are the kind of things that we deal with. So I heard some solutions to the problems that would be that we would type out the text, not send the text. We would type out the email and we would not send the email. But what happens when we actually just fall prey to, our emotions? How do we correct that is what I want us to really consider as entrepreneurs, because we're not all perfect. We're not all going to be perfect in doing this every time in every way. I know I fell prey today. Somebody sent me a little message and I was like, excuse me? And I just immediately just responded. But then I was like, oh snap, I responded improperly. And I was like, Lord, I'm so sorry. I got to go back to that person and I got to, apologize. and make things back right again. So it's better if we start practicing first the reality to realize that these are things that we cannot help that's going to happen anyway. It's just going to happen. We human. Everybody going to be offended at something at some point in time. The word says clearly that it's impossible for us not to be offended. So if that's the case, then what kind of practices can we practice every day to leave things at the door? Like Martino and Tina was saying, and Mr. Cornell, like, what can we do every day to practice? Okay, I'm not going to take this into my home. I'm not going to take this into my next client's meeting, because that's something that we don't really consider. We just kind of like going through the day and we're like, oh, I got to do this today. Oh, I got to do this with this person. Okay, I finished that person, and then they frustrated you. They left all of this upset on you. And then now you're going into another person and you're shifting the atmosphere of the next appointment that you have with the next client. And that's not okay, y'all. That's not okay. So what are some solutions that y'all can think of? Like just one thing that y'all could give them in addition to what y'all already said.
Well, for me,
Cornell?
I love God. I love what God's done for me. And I tell you, sometimes when the cat's out the bag and the fan, you know, I go to God. So many times He helped me through.
Amen to that. I'm trying to tell y'all better make a little palette somewhere.
Michelle, I didn't know how well that worked with me until I really did start focusing on going to God, because I thought I could do everything myself.
Woo!
You taught me that God changes things. I remember one time Martina was going through some things, and he was like, what do I do? What, you know, all of this right here when it's going that way. And the first thing that hit me was go to God with it. And you said, you got to go to God with that. I didn't know how. I'm telling you, I had some serious problems, and I prayed about it. And when I opened my eyes, it was like I was a new person.
Wow.
I'm telling you, God changes things.
Woo! I'm feeling this Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
He do, and like when we battling and fighting in the spiritual realm, because that's really what it is, a spiritual situation. Like the key things to me is prayer, worship, and reading. You know what I'm saying? Fellowshipping and fasting. Some things are big. He say, well, they couldn't rebuke them spirits out there. So why couldn't we get them demons out that child? Some things only can be done through fasting and praying. But when you short timing, when you working in that moment, you got to have a reset. Find something to find your reset. Is a scripture. Read something out of a psalm. Have a psalm that's going to re-energize you at that time. A song. I know, but I was singing that old song, James Cleveland, Reverend Cleveland. I know waste time. I come too far from where it started from. Nobody told me this road was going to be easy, but I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. And like, as I said that over and over and over in my mind, it gets me through them situations. We got to, how did the slaves get through picking cotton out there? They sing hymns. They sing what they call the Negro spiritual, but they were singing worship songs. Come by Yah, come by here, Yah, come save me, Yah, through my situation. And it get them through their day and time. So we have to remember that. We have to get back to a point. You got to have a place of a peace ground, even if it's just a scripture. You know what I'm saying? Serenity prayer, whatever you got to do. Like certain things I used to have these written and you post these stickers on my desk and go, because I know I'm about to deal with some of these devils. Soon as the phone ring, I don't know which one's going to be. You know what I'm saying? But they come out legion. But at that moment, I gotta have my armor on. What is your armor? You know what I'm saying? No, we got on our armor, our salvation, and get ready for war. So you know what I'm saying? We gotta get ready. Cowboy up.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Dr. Tina?
Well, for me, everything that Cornell and Martino said, and then I'm gonna add this. Sometimes you need to just be still.
Woo!
Be still. That's what I found. You need to be still. Do all the things. You pray. If you need to fast, you fast. If you need to appeal to God to help you, like Cornell, because I do all of that. But one thing that I lacked, because I was always like an energetic bunny, got to do this, always moving, right? I'm doing something. God said, be still and listen to my word of what I'm telling you to do. Put on blinders so that you can focus what's in front of you and not on the left and the right and what's behind you. You focus to the front, allow God to lead your every step, and you just close your mouth and be still.
Woo.
And sometimes that's all you need to do. Just be still and wait and listen. Stop trying to figure everything out. Stop trying to move ahead, rush ahead. Everything is not for you to move fast. Sometimes the movement is no movement.
Woo.
That is the next move.
Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna use that.
Yes.
Sometimes movement is no movement. Okay.
Come on. I
Yeah.
am feeling this tonight. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, y'all on fire. Well, this is KBBU. This is how we do life behind the scenes, in front of the camera. Don't matter where we are. This is our regular lifestyle. The solution, the common thread for all of us is that God is the solution. So you got to get some God in your life. I'm trying to tell you, if he ain't in there, you got to get some of him in your life. You got to surrender to a higher power, and that is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. That's how you do business and do it successfully and long term. But thank you guys for watching tonight. Thank you, coaches. Y'all did an amazing job in class and behind the scenes. And until next week, you can reach us at kb.michellegreen everywhere on social media, or you can go to our website, www.kbbulllc.com. You can give us a call at 855-522-8552, which is actually 855-KBBU-LLC. We are here for you. If you're watching us for the first time, we have a business school of entrepreneurs that have graduated, some that are currently in class. And every Wednesday, we have an undergraduate class that will be graduating in December. And we come in to share some of the things that we are dealing with, or going through, or actually experiencing in our life in the moment. And we would love if you would like to join KBBU. Just reach out to us. We would love to help you in your business and your personal life. Until next week, see you then. Bye-bye.
Sometimes movement is no